Okay. Congratulations to you guys for making it to the final two. Alright, my question is for Dana. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, Kayla.
Okay, just making sure. Hi. So during your HOH in DeVito, before the results were announced, you messaged me privately asking me to not use the power of veto if I was to win. I was wondering why you asked that.
You're talking about when I was HOH?
Yes.
The week that Austin got the week that Austin got evicted?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to prove to you that you were safe. Like, I know you were always worried about going up on the block and being this pawn every single week, and I kept on telling you that you were safe, and I wanted you to believe that. I knew you would never not use it, just because if anybody wins the POV, they're going to use it on themselves. But I was just curious if you would trust me enough to not use it, because you would have never went home that week. Like, I was true and honest that you were not going home and that Austin was the target for the week.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I literally can't think of one for Kevin. I'm being honest.
Well, congratulations to the final two. I don't really have a question, to be honest. Actually, no, I lied. I have a question for Dana. What happened? What happened? What happened?
Can you hear me?
Us? I can now, but what happened with us?
Honestly, Noah, I adored and I still do. And it just, from a game perspective, what happened was a combination of you getting drunk one night and saying you were going to go off on Chase, showing us a message that you supposedly sent him but never sent him. When we were in a house call, jokingly, I know you threw my name out there and was like, put Dana up as the renom. That threw up a red flag. And you at one point talked about throwing Kevin on the block too. It's small things that I knew you were in a lot of group chats, and that worried me as well. I knew that you had final threes with Luis and LaTanya, and then you talked about wanting one with me and LaTanya, and I just did not feel safe enough in a final three with you. And once the house, and I was happy to get on board only because I could never do it to you myself on my own HOH. So I think it was just a combination of many weeks of things that just kind of were stacked up against you in terms of your kind of loose lips, and you were going to throw one of us under the bus at some point or just out our alliance at some point. But it was never anything personal. I've always loved you, and it was just from a game perspective.
Well, I would like to elaborate on that, actually, if I am permitted to elaborate.
You got 1 minute.
Because I had the opportunity to turn on you guys, and I never did. If I was in a group chat, I was at least in a group chat with at least one other person in our alliance. So everyone was there. So everyone could see everything that I was saying. I was loyal. I had the opportunity to nominate Kevin, but I didn't because I was loyal to him. I was loyal to the 5. Yes, I threw your name out there, but then again, you also said, according to Luis, I had a 2007 Britney Spears meltdown, which I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I did. But I threw your name out there joking, okay? You said, oh, I'm going to nominate you. Luis said, oh, I'm going to nominate you. Joking around. It was like everyone else could joke except Noah. But the reason why everyone...
I think you just joked a little bit more than everybody else, and it was a lot scarier when you did it than when the rest of us did it. I don't know.
I don't understand that.
Just joking with you.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I understand, doing what you did. It was what it was. But, I do appreciate your honesty, Dana. And I appreciate you telling me I'm voting you out compared to I'm not sure what the vote is. I appreciate that, and I respect you, Dana.
Thank you. I respect the shit out of you, too, which is why I was scared. I was scared of you in the end. You know what I mean? And if there was a week to do it, the double eviction was it.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Kayla. Um, whew. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze. I don't, I don't know. I really don't know. I did watch your video, Kevin, and I will say congratulations for um, how you got to the end. You made it, regardless how you got there. You still made it. I'm not knocking your gameplay because everyone plays the game their own way. But when the jury started forming, I had ultimately heard about a lot of things on you wanting me out and doing all this extra stuff. And I was confused because I never spoke ill of you or anything. I never understood why you had such a hatred towards me.
It wasn't hatred. It wasn't a hatred.
Okay, hatred, issue, whatever the case might have been, I was confused because I never did anything to you. I tried having conversation with you and speaking to you. You preached about your social game in your video. Okay, you may have had a social game, but you had a social game with select people. You didn't have a social game with everybody.
Yeah, you're right.
So
because Noah, I did not have a hatred towards you. Kind of bouncing off of what Dana said, some of the things you said in the group chat rubbed me the wrong way. And like I said in my video, I saw you as a threat. And you were talking to all these different people. And then I was also receiving information that you were talking about me behind my back, about how you were nervous about me. And I heard that you tried to make a final three with yourself, Luis, and Latanya. And then you tried to make one with yourself, Dana, and Latanya. So I was just like, and I really had nothing to go off of because we didn't speak one-on-one. So
and I tried, but whenever there's one time we were in a college, you and I tried talking to you, and you just pulled a Ronnie.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
remember
right.
you
And then Luis gets in the call, and then he just go talk. So I knew that you and I never had a really good connection, but I was loyal to you because I didn't put you up when I should have put you up against Joel. But I didn't because I was honest and I was loyal to you. So I don't know where the issue came from or whatever the issue was in general. But the fact of the matter is that I tried, you didn't, because you didn't care enough to try.
It wasn't that, Noah. And I'm sorry, but after the alliance was made, because we did talk one-on-one in the beginning before the alliance was made, but after the alliance was made, I really don't remember you ever messaging me trying to talk to me because I didn't turn anybody down in this game. And another thing is I don't, you think I have this like hatred towards you. Like, no, I said in my video, I like you as a person, but in this game, I saw you as a threat. And that's why I did it. And I completely own that. You were loyal to me. You did have my back. And I was shocked when you didn't put me up because I thought for sure you were going to be the first one to take a shot at me. I thought for sure with all the things that I was hearing that you were saying, and I thought, there was a possibility that what I said about you could have got out to you. And I was shocked that you didn't put me up. And yes, what I did was dirty, and I own that. That was dirty, and that was fake, and I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I felt like you were a threat, and I felt like I needed to get you out of here. And I did not feel like I could go to Final Five with you.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that honesty. It is what it is. It's a game. Not everyone, there's only one winner. And I said it in the very beginning. And that's how it is, But I understand where you're coming from. If you just don't have a connection with somebody, you just don't have a connection with somebody. And there's no reason to fake it. I didn't nominate you because I was loyal to the 5. And that's fine. It is what it is. And, I congratulate you however you got to the end. I don't know how you got to the end. I honestly, I don't. But it's fine. It is what it is. Congratulations. I'm done.
Okay, no, I'll go back on mute. Chase is having technical issues, but his question is for Kevin. Okay, Kevin, why should I vote for you, seeing as though Dana has ruled this game and won comps that were actually skill-based, and the comps that you won were lucky ones. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, if we go back and we talk like actual Big Brother, luck comps are a part of the game. I mean, at the end of the day, I obviously wasn't a strong competitor, but I won an HOH and I won a veto. I won an HOH that put me in the final four, and the veto I won contributed to Ronnie being backdoored. I honestly felt like, I feel like I won some comps to just keep myself safe. I really didn't feel like I needed to win all these comps to get to the end. My social game, my strategic game, and my mental game was strong enough to get me to this point. And I know that might sound like a little conceited, but that's really how I play the game. I've never been a strong competitor when it came to orgs. So that's it.
Okay, he doesn't have anything for Dana. Okay, Louise, you're up next. You have to come off mute.
I'm here.
All right, you have 3 minutes starting now.
Okay. Hey guys, what's up? Congrats on making it to final 2. I deserve to be there, but it is what it is. Anyways, I'm going to start off with Dana. Dana, let's go back to that horrible, tragic final 5 eviction that went on, and I have questions for you because I don't know what else to ask. You said in your intro video that you were straight up and that you tell it like it is, and you're very honest, but I have a question. When you won POV that night, I was messaging you and you pretty much ghosted me and you told me that I was going up like the last second. Like, why did you do that? If we were so close, like personally, you could have just came to me and told me right away, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, so honestly, while you were messaging me, I was still trying to get a read on whether or not I would have Joel in on the plan. If Kevin was not down for the plan, but then it inevitably said he didn't have a vote, so I needed to do whatever I wanted to do. And I was obviously forcing his hand to get you on the block because there's nobody left. So I was obviously talking to Kevin because I didn't want him, I wanted to have him on board. And I was talking to Joel because what it came down to was that it would be Joel who would have the other vote. So yeah, when you were messaging me, I did ghost you and I was not plan, because if they would have said no, then the plan would have been scrapped and obviously you would have had nothing to worry about. But yeah, I am most of the time brutally honest in this game. For the most part, I was, and then it came down to the fact that as soon as I won that POV, I realized at that moment that I can make a really big move, the move that I would talk about at finale night if I were to make it, because that was my biggest move in this game, was getting you out. And I thought about it and I weighed my options, and I knew that doing that possibly would be the game. And I had to take, I did. I got the okay from Joel that he was on board, and I went through with it. And yeah, I didn't tell you till the last minute, but honestly, that's about as soon as I knew it was going to happen. I wasn't going to tell you it was a possibility if I wasn't 100% sure I was going to go through with the plan. And it sucks, and I felt bad about it. But at the same time, I felt that you would have done that to me at any moment. And I found out that you had a final 2, I guess, with Kevin. And I think you would have done the same thing if you were in my shoes. You say that you wouldn't have, but you're a smart guy. And you know that you've got to bulldoze people over in this game to get yourself further. And for me at that moment, way, because you are a strong-ass player. You know it. The entire freaking community knows it. That's why they've been commenting about it since your eviction. But that was my biggest move, and I had to do it. And I just hope that you can respect it as a game player, no matter how bitter you might be about it. I'm sorry that I ghosted and I wasn't honest with you until the last minute, but that was just what I felt like I had to do at that moment.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll see if I'm bitter with my vote tonight.
Yep.
Okay, Louise, you have, all right, you have 3 minutes for Kevin.
Okay. Kevin, I'm just gonna say this, I love you as a person. We're friends after this game and everything. But really, when it came to Dana, I knew what I wanted to ask, and I knew I wanted, what I wanted her to tell me. But with you, I just can't come up with anything. I'm not trying to offend you or anything, but I mean, the reason that you're here is because of the Lions. I mean, I feel like, you know, you would have been good with me. Okay, you'd have made final two with me. You would have made final two with Joe. You'd have made final two with Dana. I don't see any strategic moves that you did this season because, like, as a group, as a whole alliance, we talked about everything. You said in your video that we always came to you and you were like a pot and we would just spill stuff at you or something like that. I don't know what your saying was, but you said we always told you information. But that's a lie because we always had group calls. We had alliance chats. That's how you found out some of the stuff that was going on. You knew about the chats with Ronnie and Chase. You knew the chats about Austin, me, Dana, and Noah because we talked as an alliance. I mean, yeah, sure, me and you would go one-on-one and talk about, you know, feedback about it. But you got your information mostly from the Alliance chat because we always talked about what was going on and what we always had a plus one. We always had, you know, chats with other people because we needed them for votes. So you knew that. I just need to know something that, you know, you can say that you're proud of and that you made an impact on the game, something out of, you know, your gameplay. What did you do in this game that changed the game up?
Okay, so first and foremost, when I said that in my video, you're right. Most of that came from the Alliance. But what I'm talking about is specific information that you and Dana were giving me about Noah, Latanya, stuff that they were saying, stuff that was out of the Alliance. That's what I was speaking of. I didn't mean to come off like, oh, y'all just came here, just told me all the information, and we're like, I was like a puppet master. No, I didn't mean to come off like that. So I'm sorry that I did. I mean, you're right. I didn't have an individual move in this game, and I feel like that has to do with the fact that I have trouble winning competitions when it comes to orgs. That's why in the video I said that I feel like I had a huge impact on Noah's eviction. Because like I said, week 3 or week 4, that's when I went around and I started telling you and I started telling Dana that I wanted Noah out of the game for many different reasons. And I felt like I helped.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you can agree that I was feeling the fire too, because I have a big part of taking out Noah. Because I would go to you and he said to make you, and mostly you, not Dana, because Dana, I mean, there wasn't much said, but you knew Noah didn't like, I mean, you know, y'all didn't mesh well. So I would tell you stuff that Noah said to fuel your fire. So, I mean, just saying, like, I don't want you to take full credit, but, you know, you had some part, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I can't own an individual move, but I feel like with that move, I had a huge impact. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I cannot own that because that was not my own move. I was their number one. That is why I talked to some people more and I talked to some people less. And I tried to think of the jury, but I don't know if I failed on that, so.
Okay.
Okay. Joel, you're up.
Okay, so hi. I think I'm gonna start with Dana. So I'm gonna be nice because I think to everybody. So I think you played extremely well, and I think how you managed to how you could have like this influence on people was a really strong aspect to your game. My question to you is, how do you think in this game that you got all the way through without being nominated?
Well, thank you for the compliment. Honestly, I don't know that I had influence over people's, you know, opinions or choices or moves. Honestly, at first, not winning any competitions, I was relying heavily on my alliance. And my alliance to Luis, and who at first I was not very close with Luis. I was much closer to Noah in the beginning, and Kevin, and then the transition to being really close with Luis. I think my relationships with them and the fact that we all had our plus ones or plus twos in our alliance. So I think Kevin just a little while ago talked about backstabbing and making relationships with people and things like that. I never told anybody we're a final two. I never told anybody outside of my specific alliances that they were my number one or my ride or die, except for, with the exception of Kevin. Kevin was somebody who I always said, "You're my boy, I got your back." We never said final two, but I called him my ride or die to his face and in the diary rooms. But with the exception of my alliance, I did make an effort to talk to everybody in the game on a one-to-one. I would say after the first 2 to 3 weeks. I talked to everybody in the jury on a private call at least once. And I think with the exception of 1 or 2 people in pre-jury, I did try to reach out to people and form relationships. None of them were fake. I was completely genuine in all of the one-on-ones that I had with people. And I don't think I always talked game. I really love meeting all these new people. I could have never imagined that I would meet all these wonderful people from all these different walks of life. And I had personal conversations with people about game. So, and it was all genuine. None of it was fake. You guys met my fiance, my cat, my fiance's abs. And I learned a lot about other people in this game outside of the game aspect of it. So I would say that my social game was pretty on point because I was genuinely being myself and I was never really fake to anybody. How I escaped the block, I'm not really sure. I think, yeah, people want to say that I jumped from power, whoever was in power. I didn't jump. I just so happened, like, it just worked out that I happened to have a long conversation with Austin the day that he became HOH. He became HOH later in that day. So it just so happened to work out so that we had a long conversation. You know, I was aligned with you when you were HOH, but we were aligned before you got HOH. So I never, like, forcefully forced a relationship with somebody when they were HOH. I just so happened to have already reached out to them prior. So I think my genuine, you know, relationship with people really helped me out there. And I didn't blow smoke up anybody's ass either. Like, yeah, maybe Chase thought, said I'm taking you to the end. That's not how our conversations went. But our conversations were about the fact that we were both new to the game and newbies, and that we were going to watch out for each other. I never told him when, you know, people were talking about him, but I always went to him and had conversations with him about the game and about personal stuff. So I guess it would just be the social aspect of my game is what kept me safe week to week.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna
Damn, with 1 second to spare.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Kevin now. Kevin, oh my gosh, you my number one throughout this game. I feel like I owe you a lot in this game because I think a lot of people think that I did stuff for you, but you were the person who brought me back in the first place and basically brought my game back to life. So to vote for you today, that's probably the reason why, because I feel like I owe something to you in return. But my question is for you, is why do you think that people have underestimated your game so much? Because I feel like people have not really got a grasp of what you've been doing in this game.
Okay. I feel like people are kind of underestimating my game because one, you know, the competitions. It's always something that comes up. This is my 5th org, and you know, I've made it to the end before in the org, and it was kind of the same thing. It was you didn't win competition, you couldn't make the moves. My game is pretty. When I do things, it's pretty laid back. It's not. I don't play a flashy game, and I just lost my train of thought. But what was I gonna say? That and what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I think it's because, you know, and it's because of who I'm sitting next to. Dana, she has a lot on her resume. She's never been nominated. She won comps. She won them when she needed to. And I feel like that's, you know, overall the player that most people are attracted to voting for, not the person that couldn't win that many comps and kind of laid low. So I feel like that's why my game is being underestimated. But I hope people just take a chance and take a second to look at what I'm saying, look at what I said, and think about a player who can't win competitions. Does that mean that they don't deserve to win the game?
All right, guys. Well, I don't want to say everything I said earlier, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Sean, thank you so much for doing all that you do to make this thing run smoothly. You guys have been amazing. This was the most wonderful, enriching experience that I could have ever wanted to get out of an org. Like I said, the one 2 years ago was absolutely nothing in comparison. So I hope to continue to play games, and I hope I have the experience that I had here. To every member of the jury and to Kevin, I have immensely enjoyed your company, your conversation, the times that you've made me laugh, the times that you've made me angry. I really felt as though my relationship with all of you was absolutely genuine, and I would love to continue all of these relationships outside of the house. I feel like I have friends all over the country and across the pond. So thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you for keeping me off the block all this time. All I can say is I need you guys to vote with your heads and to think about who you think best deserves the win. If it's me, awesome, happy birthday to me. If it's Kevin, then I commend Kevin for an excellent game. But I hope that you can stay neutral enough and to think about the game and to think about who played it the best. And I really just hope that it's me. And I thank you so much for listening to me ramble all the time, because that's all I ever do. And I don't shut the fuck up. So I'm done.
Well, first of all, thank you to production for casting me for this season. This is definitely my favorite org that I have played yet, because it was definitely a very different experience. I'm coming out of this game with people who I definitely want to stay friends with outside of the game. Dana, thank you for keeping me sane, because I definitely had some moments where I was ready to fight. I was so ready to fight, so you kept me sane. To the jury, I don't have anything against any of you guys. The only person who I have anything against in this game was Ronnie, because some shit went down in the PMs that y'all don't know about. But other than that, I've already said everything. Kind of, I tried to take a different approach on this game, because usually I end up here and the same thing is said to me. What did you do? So I mean, I just hope that you can look at what I said and make your own decision. Just vote for the person you think would represent the game, would represent the season of Control the best. And I can respect that at the end of the day. Even if I lose unanimously, the person I'm sitting next to, if I lose, I can be happy that she won, because she's played a great game. She's a great person. And yeah. So good luck, Dana. And thank you guys.
Austin has cast his vote for Kevin to be the winner. Kayla has cast her vote for Dana to be the winner of Season 2. Noah has cast his vote for Dana to be the winner. Chase has cast his vote for Dana to be the winner. Louise has cast his vote for Dana to be the winner. Joel has cast his vote for Kevin to be the winner. And LaTanya has cast her vote for Dana to be the winner, which means by a vote of 5-2, congratulations, Dana. You are the winner of Control Season 2.
Hey everyone, you're looking at the winner of Control Season 2. I am just so thrilled. I absolutely never thought that this was possible. Coming in, I knew that being new to this community and to the game, and not having played anything in 2 years, I never in a million years would have guessed that I was going to make it to the end, especially after seeing everyone's videos and seeing how intense everybody was and seemingly, pretty experienced with this community. I definitely thought it would be a long shot for me to make it to the end. So I am absolutely thrilled. I'm so proud, and I'm just very honored to have gotten a chance to play with all these awesome people in this game and to be a part of the Control family. Really, it means a lot to me, and it's definitely going to jumpstart my experience in orgs, and I'm definitely going to go on and play some other games. I think being a newbie was, I don't know if it was a disadvantage or an advantage. Perhaps a disadvantage because I know a little less than everyone else. I wasn't keeping track of what was going on different days. So when those competitions came around about day numbers, I did not do very well. I didn't really know what to expect in terms of the types of games I was going to see. But at the same time, I also fly under people's radar because they don't know me from other games. They don't know my gameplay. So maybe it worked a little bit in my favor and not in my favor. I don't know if that really answers the question, but it seemed to have worked out in the end for me, so I couldn't be happier. My initial strategy coming in was to fly under the radar and not win comps. That wasn't really hard because I wasn't very good at winning the comps in the beginning. So that part of my strategy worked well. My plan was to talk to everyone, make friends with everyone, and I was genuine in making friends with everyone. I really enjoyed talking to people, not just about game, but about real life. All these different people from all these different walks of life. That part was really awesome, and I went in saying I'm going to make friends with everybody, and I really feel like I did. I didn't go in thinking about making an alliance, but it kind of just fell into my lap, and for that I'm thankful because that alliance took me very, very far in this game. As the game progressed, obviously my plans needed to change because obviously I needed to make some big moves, and getting Luis out was certainly one of them, and never really making a final 2 deal with anyone. I think that actually worked out in my favor, even though in the end Kevin or Joel probably would have kicked me to the curb if they would have won that last HOH, but I never made a final 2 deal with anyone, hands down, and that I think worked to my advantage because I never was locked and loaded on one person. So if I ever had to throw anyone under the bus like Luis, even though he was upset because we were in the same alliance, I think that it did work out in my favor to not have a final 2 deal to the end. My expectations coming into this game was that it was going to be a lot of fun, but it definitely overshot my expectations because it was a lot of work too. I started out this game, only going on the phone when I got home from work, at 8 o'clock at night or home from school, and it transitioned into me being in my classroom where I am right now and being on my phone constantly, keeping up with people, having chats during my lunch break, being on my phone when the kids were taking a test or a quiz. Like, it really started to consume my life, and it actually caused a little bit of a rift with me and my fiance for a while because I was showing him zero attention at night and I was constantly on my phone. I definitely was sleep deprived the entire time. Old lady here likes to go to bed at between 10 and 11, and they were nice that I was going to bed at 1 and 2. And when it came to that HOH part 1 where I had to stay up like all night, that is a first for me, probably since my college years, like 10 years ago. So it was definitely harder than I thought in terms of time consuming. The other game that I played was not as time consuming because it was kind of real time, and it was like 1 HOH a week, whereas this was like 1 HOH every 3 days. So it was definitely time consuming more than I had expected. So that part definitely surprised me. How did I make it to the end without ever being nominated? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if it was my just relationship with people and being in people's ears or just getting lucky. I mean, Austin and I connected really early, so I was able to sneak by without being on the block when he was HOH. Chase and I connected for both being newbies, so that avoided my ever going on the block when he was HOH. Same with Ronnie, we connected early on. We were also on the same team, so he couldn't put me up. And then a lot of my alliance was split between the 2 teams, so I was constantly able to stay off the block when we were still in 2 teams. And then as it got just further down the line, I think just other people made a big target for themselves that I was not making. I did not win competitions early on, so I was able to not look like a beast in the game. And I was really nice to everybody, and I really tried to avoid any drama. So I think that helped. That was in my favor as well. I was just really friendly with people, which was genuine. It wasn't that I was just doing it just to do it, and I would be happy never talking to anybody ever again. I really genuinely made friends in this game and hope to keep in touch with people after it's over. So I guess that's part of it. My biggest move, like I said before, was getting Luis out. And that was part of my plea at the very end of the season, which was that if I had not gotten rid of him when I did, that was when I won the veto and decided to use it so that it would force him onto the block. I think it was super strategic. I was able to get Joel on board, and it was Kevin's HOH, so he wasn't thrilled with me, but he realized that there was nothing he could do about it. So I played my part at the perfect time. It was just timing. It was really perfect timing. So getting Luis out took out someone who was a huge threat, competitively, and I really didn't know where his head was. People and being in people's ears or just getting lucky. I mean, Austin and I connected really early, so I was able to sneak by without being on the block when he was HOH. Chase and I connected for both being newbies, so that avoided my ever going on the block when he was HOH. Same with Ronnie, we connected early on. We were also on the same team, so he couldn't put me up. And then a lot of my alliance was split between the 2 teams, so I was constantly able to stay off the block when we were still in 2 teams. And then as it got just further down the line, I think just other people made a big target for themselves that I was not making. I did not win competitions early on, so I was able to not look like a beast in the game. And I was really nice to everybody, and I really tried to avoid any drama. So I think that helped. That was in my favor as well. I was just really friendly with people, which was genuine. It wasn't that I was just doing it just to do it, and I would be happy never talking to anybody ever again. I really genuinely made friends in this game and hope to keep in touch with people after it's over. So I guess that's part of it. My biggest move, like I said before, was getting Luis out. And that was part of my plea at the very end of the season, which was that if I had not gotten rid of him when I did, that was when I won the veto and decided to use it so that it would force him onto the block. I think it was super strategic. I was able to get Joel on board, and it was Kevin's HOH, so he wasn't thrilled with me, but he realized that there was nothing he could do about it. So I played my part at the perfect time. It was just timing. It was really perfect timing. So getting Luis out took out someone who was a huge threat, competitively, and I really didn't know where his head was at in terms of who he would take to the end if he did go all the way. And then my other biggest moves were the fact that I just won when it came time to win. I won all the final HOHs, and I took the game into my own hands and was able to make my own decision about who I would take to the end. I think taking Kevin was a great idea because I think it would have been harder to beat Joel because he did get evicted and then come back and really came back with a vengeance. I think all of my alliance choices were really, part of my strategy and game moves, and but definitely getting Luis out, hats off to my Luis because he was the biggest threat to me in this game. Final jury vote was 5-2. Why do I think Joel and Austin voted for Kevin over you? There was nothing he could do about it. So I played my part at the perfect time. It was just timing. It was really perfect timing. So getting Luis out took out someone who was a huge threat, competitively, and I really didn't know where his head was at in terms of who he would take to the end if he did go all the way. And then my other biggest moves were the fact that I just won when it came time to win. I won all the final HOHs, and I took the game into my own hands and was able to make my own decision about who I would take to the end. I think taking Kevin was a great idea because I think it would have been harder to beat Joel because he did get evicted and then come back and really came back with a vengeance. I think all of my alliance choices were really, part of my strategy and game moves, and but definitely getting Luis out, hats off to my Luis because he was the biggest threat to me in this game. Final jury vote was 5-2. Why do I think Joel and Austin voted for Kevin over you? I really did not expect it to be a unanimous vote. In fact, I thought Luis would not vote for me, so I was really thrilled when he did. I didn't know how close Joel and Kevin were all along. I mean, I knew, but I didn't realize it until it was time for me to make the decision who I was taking to the end. And I had Joel telling me he was going to take me, and Kevin was kind of a little MIA at that point, so he didn't really tell me he would or wouldn't take me. And then when I put them both on blast at that final veto meeting, and I won the final HOH, and kind of said to them, I put them both on the spot and said, were you really going to take me? And then it finally came out that they wouldn't. So I think, that's the reason why Joel didn't vote for me. He owed it to Kevin. And Austin, I thought he would have appreciated my gameplay and would have been, understanding that I had to see him go on my HOH. But he was bitter, and that's why he voted for Kevin. And I think he was also friendly with Kevin, friendlier than I knew about. So that answers why I didn't get the unanimous vote that I would have loved to see. The best part of the season for me was definitely the experience, the whole thing, top to bottom. The production was awesome. Sean, you are amazing at what you do. Thank you so much for everything you've done for this game and meeting all these new people. I can't wait to meet up with Ryan this month. We're going to be seeing each other in Philadelphia. I'd love to see Kevin, who lives in Connecticut, not too far from where my fiance lives. And really, I just feel like I've made friends in this community that will last a really long time. And obviously winning certainly doesn't hurt, even though my fiance loves to tell me that I didn't win anything. I just won some online glory. So I think it was great. And would I play again? 1,000, 100 million% I would. I cannot wait. Hopefully that there's an All-Stars one day. I would love to be a part of it, and I'm certainly planning on playing in other orgs. So once again, thank you to everyone who's been a part of this experience for me. I am so thankful and humbled and blessed. And until next time that you guys see me on another org, we'll catch you on the flip side.